Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. We are back today and we're specifically going to be talking about New Hampshire because New Hampshire was labeled as a battleground state by some outlets. You'll see going down, it's actually 6.4, so you could handedly say, oh, that was without the margin of error. Well, look at that. Look at this poll from Dartmouth College. 4 point out of the margin of error, but it said 62% for Kamala Harris, 34% for Donald Trump. But well, that explains why the outlets here, a lot of these outlets have added New Hampshire into this. It's just a ridiculous poll overall. 6.4 for Kamala Harris in the average, 10 points for according to the Hill and DDHQ. You also got a 4.6 in the Silver Bulletin. So ultimately, and was that poll wrong? Well, Dartmouth College, I'm sorry, but you are off. Like, seriously off. Look at this results. This is the results we got. 50.65% for Kamala Harris. You were right. Kamala Harris won the state. But Donald Trump, she lost it by 3 points. Underperforming Joe Biden's record. And I knew this, guys. There is no way that Kamala Harris is going to gain more from New Hampshire because let's keep in mind there are a lot of New Hampshireites that have limits on how far they can vote Democratic. Joe Biden marked the limit, okay? Joe Biden, they respected Joe Biden. They remember the old Scranton Joe Biden from the 80s, the 90s. They like that Joe Biden. They don't really have a problem with Joe Biden. Libertarians associated with Joe Biden back then, and they still did in 2020. So when they see Joe Biden, they think of this guy. Then out of the sudden, there's Kamala Harris, who is the San Francisco radical far-left lunatic who basically just slept her way to the top, exactly what she did. She has her running mate, Tim Walz, has a history of banning guns in the state of Minnesota. Not only that, but charging anyone who uses the guns, shoots anyone in some cases for self-defense. That does not appeal at all for these New Hampshireites. Minnesota also has the highest tax rates of one in the Midwest, I want to believe. Illinois. I might dispute that with Illinois. But you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying here. It's not looking good. And what we're seeing here, in this case with Kamala Harris, yeah, a lot of New Hampshireites rejected her. Now, if New Hampshire was like it was in 2016, where it almost went to Donald Trump, and if it was like 2016, it would be a Trump win inevitably. But unfortunately, New Hampshire has transformed. New Hampshire has had a lot of individuals specifically from Vermont and Massachusetts, those radical left-wing lunatics coming into New Hampshire and imploring their views in New Hampshire. Unfortunately, you would think New Hampshire wouldn't elect someone that's so tyrannical and far left like Kamala Harris, but they voted for her anyway. But they didn't vote for her as they did with Joe Biden. In fact, Minnesota was put into the more tossed up. We had our eyes more on Minnesota than New Hampshire in this whole election cycle. And this state actually was more rightward than Minnesota. Despite Minnesota not being so different from New Hampshire's policies, although you have a tyrannical governor there, this state ultimately just went to the right. And you'll see in a couple of regards, you'll see that Donald Trump gained a county. I want this to believe this is Sullivan County, but Donald Trump gained that county. He actually gained that county, and a county that he ultimately was actually going for Kamala Harris throughout the whole entire race, but a couple days later, this county was projected to go to Donald Trump. But obviously, I want to tell you, this is not what we were expecting the race to look like at all. And I think we had that map look like that for a little bit, but I have doubts on that. But let's take a look at our North Star projections in our community tab right now. And we're going to go ahead and look going down and taking a look at specifically what we had New Hampshire going for, what direction. So we were off. on 2 counties. Rockingham County, we're like, you know what? And I was surprised to see Rockingham County, and I see Rockingham County go to the said right, because this is just a suburban county. You'll see Rockingham County, New Hampshire. Let's see it. Largest town, Derry, New Hampshire. It's actually, I don't know if it's a big, 314,000 people. It's a pretty big county here, interestingly enough. I believe all that comes from Derry, and that is a community. 34,000 people. That's the largest town. Brentwood, 4,000. So I would say Rockingham County has people all over the county. And you'll see this is definitely a bellwether county, if you will. It's been swinging to the left and the right in some elections. Yeah, it definitely is more conservative, if you tend to think of it. It barely went for Joe Biden in 2. I actually did not know that this county was just so conservative. In fact, more counties, this is the legislative branch, 67.8% in the county legislation are Republicans. Registration, that's what I'm mainly wondering. I'm guessing most Rockingham County residents are Republicans out of this take. Rockingham County is one of the only 13 counties who have voted for Obama in 2008, Romney in 2012, Trump in 2016, and Biden in 2020. So there's been a pattern that has been taking place with 13, or I would say 12 other counties in the United States. Of course, that pattern is broken, unless I would be very shocked to see if that pattern is still going on. But of course, Rockingham County continued that trend. It is now back in the Republican train. Well, there's no way I could check. I think we could check the results from the New Hampshire Atlas election. This is how I don't know the website. Dave Leap's Atlas of U.S. presidential elections. Go there. You'll find some election results that actually never have been recorded by Wikipedia. But going to the 2024 election, you'll see there are county results, and they actually have the registered votes in. 50% to 48%, that's in Rockingham County, and you'll see Donald Trump won that by 2 points. That's compared to Joe Biden's performance, where he won that county by 2 points. That surprised me because this county is suburban. It is pretty suburban, populated, 200,000. There's more votes here. So that surprised me. And then you realize it kind of makes sense. You kind of need this county, Rockingham County, to make this sort of election very competitive. And that it was. You'll see. Then there's Sullivan County. And by the way, this is this was our prediction, by the way. We were wrong. Donald Trump won Rockingham and Sullivan counties, so Donald Trump gained 2 counties in our registration. So looking here, Donald Trump barely won in Sullivan County. It was a very, very close election, 25,000 votes in total, a very rural county. But it has been more for Democrats. It voted for Trump in 2016. It returned to him in 2024, even though it voted against Trump in 2020. But yes, interestingly enough, Carroll County, same results sort of with Rockingham. They kind of vote together if you haven't noticed. Rockingham and Carroll County. Carroll County, you'll be wondering, why is it very compatible? Well, it's kind of urban. It's not influenced by Vermont. No, not Vermont, but Maine. And then again, there's no real there's a conservative county right there. Yeah, it's mainly that second district. So you would think, why is this county so compatible? You could say Grafton County is a Democrat stronghold. We know that. And for some reason, people in Grafton County, they're white, rural. And then again, you got to remember, New Hampshire is a very not really religious state. You can't really say they're evangelical because, believe it or not, there are more Catholics than evangelicals in New Hampshire, which is surprising. But ultimately, non-affiliated New Hampshireites, non-affiliated dominates New Hampshire. That's the main dominant religion. But if you say you had to choose a religion, Catholicism would be, and then again, it's like 20% Catholic. Maybe at 1 point below, it would be Protestant. That number is always changing, so I would be not surprised if Protestants take the lead someday. But yeah, this is what this is looking like right now, the forecast. 5 counties for Harris, 5 counties for Trump. Counties that were close, Merrimack County, yeah, it was close. 51% for Harris, 46% for Trump. Hillsborough County is an urban county, pretty populated. That county, 3 points for Harris. That went for her for 3 points. Trump won this county in 2016. Couldn't do it this time because, I would say it's Massachusetts' fault. People from Massachusetts, they go up here. Hillsborough County has a city. Hillsborough County, not Florida, Hillsborough County, New Hampshire. Okay, yeah, it has Manchester. Manchester is a big city. 115,000 people. And I'm like, okay, there's no way. I don't think Donald Trump can win. But then again, Manchester is not the biggest. It's not the most, in my words, the most conservative city. It's kind of conservative. It's not the most liberal city, in other words. There's also, Hillsborough also has 2 county seats. I think it's the only county in the United States to have 2 county seats, as far as I know. There's Nasha, which is a city of 9,000. This is also pretty populated. So that is probably the reason why you have Hillsborough County be so populated. 422,000 people, to be exact. But what do you guys think in regards to our analysis? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.